Hello, and welcome back to Cape Corner, where we explore the history, story, and cultural impact of a different character or group every episode. I'm Blue.
And I'm Jordan Blue Man.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I should
I
have
was
let
like,
you
oh,
go.
there's a pause there.
Yeah,
That's where my name goes.
and we will be your hosts as we take this journey together. Um, I will give full disclosure to the viewers right now. I didn't write a script this time.
Completely off script today.
Look, there was an issue with pizza that I'm not going to get fully into right now, and I was very angry and tired, and
Rats may or may not have been involved.
I just I just wanted to play some Mortal Kombat today, and so I played Mortal Kombat all morning and watched the new My Hero Academia episode, and then I went, oh shit, I got to record my episode. So here we are.
So here we are.
But I think this will be, of any of them, the one that I can really get through without a script. I say, as I realize that I can't do my normal thing of saying their nicknames when I don't know any of his nicknames. Hang on.
People call him the Invincible Iron Man. There's a modifier, at least.
Man, you spoiled it, though. We're talking about Iron Man. Spoiler shit, man.
Spoiler alert. I'm going to assume if they clicked on the thing that they've read the title of the thing.
But we gotta pretend to be ignorant about that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, it was a surprise. You know, Blue, that we're talking about the Invincible Iron Man.
Oh, God, I wasn't prepared. Yeah, we're doing Iron Man. But no, he had the Armored Avenger.
The Armored Avenger. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't make it up. That's his.
Yeah, I know. I just hadn't thought of it.
Okay. I thought you were like, oh, man, that's really good. Good job, dude. All right. So, I don't think there's much of a necessary preamble to this. You all know who Iron Man is. And I know there's going to be that one jackass who's going to be like, I don't really know. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You've heard of him.
Yeah. You've probably seen his fabulous goatee. So, or at least his weirdly, like, cheekboned mask. You know what I mean, right? Like how it has like the sculpt in the side where it's like got fake cheekbones.
Yeah, it's an interesting mask. Kind of a scowly mask.
Yeah. All right. So, we'll do some quick real world history, but really there's not most of this episode is going to be on the fictional side. But the story goes that Iron Man's premiere was in Tales of Suspense number 39 from March 1963. It was a collaboration from Stan Lee, scriptwriter Larry Lieber, story artist Don Heck, and obviously the cover artist and character designer Jack Kirby. Apparently, at the time, Lee had been toying with the idea of a businessman superhero, and in a way that infuriates me, he said that he wanted to create, quote, the quintessential capitalist.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Look, I couldn't get much more transparent without, like, wearing a big fucking circled A on my forehead or something. I'm not pro-capitalism, given the fact that I'm poor.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. But
maybe tomorrow you'll be a millionaire.
Sure.
Right?
You know,
that's how it works.
That's the American dream. Just
that's the dream, man.
Yeah. So he made this character during the height of the Cold War. In a way, Iron Man was sort of a reactionary thing to capitalist propaganda was very high in America because, the enemy was communists, and so we had to delude ourselves into believing that capitalism was the big answer. It was the best. It was the good to fight communism's evil, and like Iron Man was sort of born from that propaganda. They wanted a man who was, you know, self-made, quote unquote. They wanted him to be like, I'm all about making them profits, but I'm also about helping the common man. And like, it's funny because they wound up absolutely ruining any notion of a self-made man down the line anyway, when it came to like stories of genetic tampering, and he was predestined to be superior to other human beings.
Yeah, there will never come a time where people don't get a little annoyed that politics interferes with their superheroes. But as you've mentioned before on the Superman episode, these characters were created politically. Almost all of them.
It is an inextricable link that you cannot sever between superheroes and politics. Superheroes are largely a political commentary medium. And to anyone who still continues to defy this, why do you think Superman's most famous enemy is a businessman that turns into the president?
A corrupt billionaire.
He is like he's. It's like, what if Donald Trump wasn't a bumbling clusterfuck, but instead was like cool as a cucumber and really dangerous
and bald.
Yeah. Oh man, I never mentioned about Lex Luthor's beef with Superman in that episode, did I? He literally hates Superman because he was doing a chemical experiment, and an explosion, like his hair got set on fire with chemical fire, and Superman happened to fly by, and he used his super breath to blow the fire out, and it blew the hair off of his head.
That's why?
That's why he hates Superman.
Oh my goodness. We're going to have to do a Superman Part 2 episode at some point.
I probably will. There's a shit ton of stuff I never touched on. I didn't touch on his Rogues Gallery hardly. I didn't talk about Bizarro. I didn't talk about Mr. Mr. Mixelplex.
Mixyzptlk?
That's it. Thank you.
As it's pronounced in the animated cartoon from the 90s. Speaking of animated cartoons from the 90s, I went and watched the first episode of the Iron Man animated show to prep for this episode. That was a real trip. That was fun to watch.
I remember watching an episode here or there when I was a kid, but I honestly remember next to nothing about it. So jumping into the talk of fictional stuff, why don't you tell me what you experienced with the 90s cartoon?
Yeah, so the plot of that episode was that the Mandarin has hired Dread Knight and Whirlwind. And I was kind of surprised at the deep cut villains that were in the first episode of this show.
I'm aware of Whirlwind. I don't know Dread Knight.
Yeah, this was the first time I had actually seen Dread Knight. Also, MODOK was there, but I don't remember if he was part of Mandarin's plan. Mandarin is trying to turn people into zombies to create a slave army. And
yeah, that's very Mandarin.
At some point, there was a scene with MODOK's assistant pushing him around in a baby carriage because they were undercover. That image amused me terribly.
Was it like a giant baby carriage, or is he tiny?
It was kind of like, I think it was just his head took up the whole baby carriage, and his body is really small.
But even then, he would have to be really, really tiny. Like the MODOK I think of, like, his body is like, or his head body is like 6 feet across or something.
Yeah, I guess this MODOK was shaped a little different.
He's a little different, you say?
Yeah. There's a scene where Rhodey, who is only ever referred to as Jim in the show, I found it interesting that he hadn't picked up the Rhodey nickname yet, is in communication with Iron Man on this giant TV, and Hawkeye walks in and changes the channel, and they lose contact with Iron Man for a little bit because Hawkeye wanted to watch something.
Oh my god.
And, man, I love this. I love this show. I got to go watch the rest of this show. And also, I found it interesting that because really before watching this, my only real exposure to Iron Man had been in the 2010, I believe, Earth's Mightiest Heroes animated series and
Yes.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it very much surprised me that he has a secret identity and that they don't know that Tony Stark is, the villains at least, don't know that Tony Stark is Iron Man. I found that very interesting. Also, Fin Fang Foom was in the episode for some reason. I have no idea why.
Because Fin Fang Foom has ties to the Mandarin, and as a result, he has loose ties to Iron Man.
Interesting. Do you think Fin Fang Foom will show up in the Shang-Chi movie coming
He
up?
better! I've been waiting for him!
I will be so thrilled if he shows up. I guess the last thing I have to say about the 90s Iron Man cartoon is that there was a scene where Rhodey puts on his armor and Tony puts on his armor, and then Tony turns to Rhodey and says, "It's time to iron things out." And that just made me deliriously happy.
Jesus, it just made me delirious.
I'd give anything to have Downey say that in one of the movies.
Yeah, so, like what was the normal superhero formula at the time, when Iron Man first came out, he did have a secret identity. One of the really fun things about Marvel Comics is that a lot of modern Marvel Comics have been shaped by external media. The MCU especially has had a big part in reprioritizing aspects of characters. You might not know this, viewers at home / Jordan, but Iron Man was never quippy. He was never...
What?
He did not make jokes. He wasn't a happy person. He was very serious and calculating. Imagine like a slightly less tensed up Lex Luthor, as a matter of fact.
With alcoholism.
Yes, with extreme alcoholism. Oh, we'll get to Demon in a Bottle. Don't worry.
Oh boy.
But the entire thing of him being this sort of snarky, sarcastic, jokestery, quippy, fun-loving jackass was done by Robert Downey Jr., and then it was so well received that they changed Tony Stark in the comics to be more like Robert Downey Jr.
That is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's this very interesting give and take between the comics and external media for Marvel that I sometimes wish DC would be more willing to do. DC has very rarely allowed external media to shape the comics. The big one that people think of is, or the big two, I'll say, is Harley Quinn just existing as a character. She was made for Batman the Animated Series. And Mr. Zero being renamed as Mr. Freeze and given a new backstory.
Interesting.
Yes.
I guess both of them will need their own episodes at some point.
Oh god, I would love to do a Mr. Freeze episode. I adore Mr. Freeze so much.
Put out a poll on your Discord for what the next episode is, and then people can come vote.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a poll bot, actually. I should look that up, like some sort of professional or something after this. Before I forget, before we get any further, because I know I'll forget, because I'm a dumbass, I wanted to make a mandate. I always tell you guys, you can donate money and join the Discord and all that stuff. I never say, please share this episode with a friend. I need to start saying that.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
So,
I think everyone should share it with their friends.
Jordan, it is now your job to help me remember to ask people to share this episode, or these episodes with a friend, even if it's just like one friend every episode. Like, hey, you never heard these guys? Check them out. They're not terrible. Like,
See, it's
that would be
funny. I
great.
never in a million years would have thought to do that because my background was on, before this, was on a radio show where I wasn't allowed to tell my audience what to do. So I literally was not allowed to tell them to share the show with a friend or recommend it or what to like and what to comment on if they had, if they wanted to be engaged. I was able to tell the audience that here's where our website is if you were interested in viewing it, but I was never allowed to tell people to check it out.
You had to be extremely passive, is what you had to be.
Very passive. Lots of interesting rules in college student radio.
Well, guess what? We ain't passive here.
There are no rules
We're
anymore.
alpha males. I'm in charge now. uh, I hope people know that I'm like never serious. So, okay. So,
Okay, deep breath. Iron Man.
I suppose before we talk about the Iron, we should probably talk about the man, right?
That makes
So,
sense.
Anthony Edward Stark, also known as Tony Stark. He was born to the very wealthy Howard Stark, already born into a life of affluence, wealth. Man, do I want to talk about his brother? Like,
He has a brother?
yeah. All right, fuck it. I'll talk about his
Is
brother.
it bad?
What?
Is it a bad thing?
It's a bizarre thing. um. Okay, so let me pull up Howard Stark's page right now. I gotta find his.
I'm so intrigued. The suspense is killing me.
I'm having trouble because I can't remember his brother's name right now.
I'm assuming it's not Mike Murdoch.
Is in fact not Mike Martin. Oh yeah, Arno Stark. Jesus Christ. Okay,
Put a little
so
note from the editor at the bottom that says, check out episode 7 Daredevil for inside joke.
just a little asterisk, but it's got to be in like the comic book font, not Comic Sans, like the good one.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, just imagine that the little text box with the asterisk showed up.
I'm not putting it in. That takes work. Okay, so here's what you mainly need to know. So, Arno Stark was retconned as Tony Stark's older brother. There was a being known as the Recorder, who's one of those cosmic beings, and he essentially genetically engineered Howard and Maria Stark's burgeoning child to grow up to pilot a suit of armor called the God Killer. But Howard Stark sabotaged the experiment, which made Arno get born crippled and unable to speak without the use of machines. And Tony wouldn't find out about him until he was already an adult and well into his Iron Man days. And it was a whole thing where Arno was basically a child of destiny that got really fucked up. And I want to say that I'll actually not fuck around and like upset people in this episode. Spoiler alert for Invincible. If you haven't finished watching season 1 of Invincible, maybe skip ahead like a minute. I want to say that Rudy or Robot, a lot of his inspiration came from Arno Stark.
Oh, interesting.
You know how he's all like genetically deformed and shit?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So and again, like deals with machines and needs machines to speak and acts through them and stuff. But yeah, so Tony was technically born without the eugenics of a god, but he was still born with stupidly high IQ and a propensity for engineering that had him build his first car engine from spare parts when he was 6 years old. He graduated MIT when he was 12 or something.
I think it's 15, at least based on the movie, but I can't preach to the comic accuracy of the movie.
It's some dumb young age, right? They really hammer home he's the smart one, super hard.
Oh, yes.
His intelligence might be more focused on than even characters like Mr. Fantastic, who they just circle jerk constantly about what a brilliant man he is. But regardless, Howard and Maria Stark, his parents, would wind up dying, and depending on the story, it depends on how they die. Sometimes it's actually a car crash. Sometimes it's something staged to be a car crash, but is actually an assassination. Sometimes Bucky Barnes did it. Sometimes someone else did it. I think in one story it was Mandarin who did it through time travel bullshit.
Oh my god! They pull a Reverse Flash.
Yeah, basically. But regardless, Tony Stark is left with this entire company to run. He is a weapons manufacturer. They make some of the premier weapons for people to murder each other with. And in the movie, it's Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere there in the Middle East where he's held hostage because, it was 2008. It was the middle of that war. But in the original comics, it was the Cold War, so he got kidnapped by, I believe it was the Chinese.
Interesting.
Regardless, it was, Asian terrorists have kidnapped him, tried to force him to build weapons exclusively for them, but he creates the Iron Man Mark I suit, which is just a big old lumbering mass of sheet metal that is somewhat curved to mimic human proportion, and it's just got rocket boosters and a flamethrower, and possibly the most important part of any Iron Man suit ever: roller skates.
Oh my goodness.
That is not a joke. He has skates that just out of
Man, what idiot forgot to put that in the movie?
I was looking for it. It wasn't there.
Kevin Feige, if you can hear me, I want Iron Man skating the next time I see any Iron Man suit. Give them to Rhodey if you have to.
I don't know why Marvel was really into rocket-powered roller skates for a while, but the Prowler also had them.
Oh yeah.
It was such a weird gimmick, but they were going
in the comics. Does he have the arc reactor actually in his chest? Because he doesn't in the animated show from the 90s.
He does. That was always the main thing. He got shrapnel in his chest cavity, and it was slowly, with every beat of his heart, getting closer and closer to his heart. So he had to put an electromagnet in his chest, and it was never the arc reactor until much, much, much later. It was just an electromagnet. But regardless, he then is I'm now kind of part man, part machine. If only we had a name for that, but we don't. So instead, I will be the Iron Man. And so he made the suit to escape. Kept using it for a little bit, but once he was back in America, eventually he would make the real Iron Man Mark II. Now, in the MCU, the Iron Man Mark II is his much sleeker, fully silver one that was built to test flight. So it doesn't have weapons equipped, but it was to test the repulsor tech flight.
And it is not prepared for the icing problem.
Which would later become the basis for War Machine. No. In the comics, the Iron Man Mark II is exactly the same as the Iron Man Mark I, but it's all gold. It is the gaudiest, grossest shit, and that is actually what he was wearing when they formed the Avengers for the first time.
Oh.
If you take a second right now, YouTube viewers, Google Avengers premiere comic. Just Google it. Go to images. All right. Well, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties and lost part of our recording, but not a whole lot because I caught it in time.
Pretty much just an angry rant about how bad the gold suit looks.
Look, yeah, long story short, it uggy, and I don't like gold suits. But moving on.
Too ostentatious.
Yes. Very. Okay, well.
So was his Mark III in the comics the red and gold one finally, just like in the movie?
Yes, so they did eventually get to the suit that we consider the classic Iron Man suit. I want to say a couple of years into the run is when they got the red and gold.
Interesting.
Yeah, they stuck around with the big bulky either slate gray or gold suit for a while, but it wasn't for too long to become like the staple. The red and gold is what everybody knows. It's what everyone thinks of when they think of Iron Man. And I say we just take some time to talk about some of our favorite iterations of the armor since we're already on the subject.
Yeah.
I
love the Mark V from Mark V from Iron Man 2, the briefcase armor. I'm pretty sure that's the Mark V.
It is.
That suit looks awesome.
You know what's great is that I was actually I think we should go back and forth. The one that I was going to say first was actually the original one in the comic that suit is loosely based off of.
Oh, interesting.
The Silver Centurion armor. It is his red and silver suit that was his first one that he modified for space, not just space travel, but like long-term space travel. This is when like he just flies into space, no ship, just his suit, and he just flies for like weeks and goes to other planets and shit.
That's awesome.
It was it was the suit he wore for cosmic adventures. And the briefcase one is extremely loosely based on it just because it was silver and red.
Nice. Okay, I also like the one that he wears in the 2010 Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. That suit is really cool. It's got a few extra blue dots on it.
Yeah. I like how in that he has like the undersuit. It's this cool like digital looking like lycra bodysuit almost with like
with the black and blue.
Talking about that show, the Uru armor.
Yes.
The Uru armor was fucking sick, and it let him control lightning because it's made of the same material as Thor's hammer.
That is just that's a cool concept to make an Iron Man suit out of the same metal as Thor's hammer. Yeah,
I do find it a little bit like a bit of a cuck move that the Dwarf King was like, yeah, good job, you beat Loki. I'm gonna need that armor back. And Iron Man's like, what? And it's like, it's made of Uru. That is our rarest metal. That was alone. Give me the suit. And so that sad. Iron Man suit is just inaccessible to Tony.
So sad. Let's see. Okay. I also love I actually really like the Iron Man 3 Mark 43.
42.
45. Oh, that was it. 42. I actually really like that one. I kind of like the inverted sort of extra gold over the red. It was a nice change of pace. It's not one of my favorites now, but when I saw that movie, it was a cool, refreshing look at the suit.
I will have a slight disagreement with you here because again I find gold gaudy and I think that starts
Far too ostentatious.
it's shut up. And that's where it starts to like push it into like too much gold territory for me. But like more than that, that suit is made of paper mache.
Oh my god, yes. Every suit in that movie is made of paper mache. They all get torn apart.
That one got hit by like a truck, not even like a speeding truck, like an average moving truck, and it just shattered into pieces. And I'm like,
tripped
Tony,
and shattered into pieces.
I'm like, Tony, your Mark 6 took a hit from Thor's hammer. Why is 42 getting broken by a truck?
It tripped and broke. I can't believe it.
He made them in a fitful state of PTSD and paranoia.
Yeah, to be fair, there is a reason.
Yeah, but it just bugs me that it's such a it's like it's tinfoil man is what that one is.
Yeah, like all those suits are just getting torn apart by various villains and crashing into things and falling apart.
Yeah.
Although we get a look at the spacesuit in that movie, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish they ever like did anything with it instead of just turning them into glorified fireworks. I'll mention one last suit that I really like on my end, and then you can do another one if you want, if you have any more.
I'm out.
I'll say like one and a half. It's two. They're sort of tangentially related. First is the bleeding edge armor. Do you know about this?
Oh yes, I've seen. Is that the one where he becomes one with the armor?
Yes. So the nano suit, the Mark 50 from Avengers: Infinity War / Endgame,
which is not a great suit. It kind of fits him too closely, in my opinion.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of like shape, like design.
Yeah, I don't like the shape of it in Infinity War.
I was going to be like, it's his best suit. What do you mean? Like it can make weapons on the fly. But I get what you mean in terms of.
Oh yeah, for practicality, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess it does make him look scrawnier because he himself is kind of a scrawnier guy. But and that's of no offense to Mr. Downey Jr. I'm just saying, compared to like Hulk and Thor, like
you're no Chris Evans.
Exactly. But I don't know. I still dig it. And you can't deny the ability to just make nanobot-based weaponry at will, including like weird floating laser. What would you call them? Like stripes?
Yeah, these things just pop out of his back and just shoot the big giant alien dude.
They were like slats that were just floating. Like I don't know how else you would call them.
It's awesome.
It was cool. But yeah, so the bleeding edge armor is actually he first made it in the comics, and then the Infinity War and Endgame suit took from there. But it was something that he actually had as like so in the movie. It looks like it's part of his hoodie, or no, sorry, it's part of the little. He's made like a portable arc reactor because he took the arc reactor out of his chest in Iron Man 3, which I never saw.
Yeah, so it's now a housing unit for all these nano particles.
He just like sticks it to his chest, and then he like taps it, and then it builds the suit around him. But in the comics, the bleeding edge armor. It was actually a bunch of nanobots in a suspended animation liquid, which he injected through a syringe directly into his bloodstream.
Oh boy.
So they literally exit his pores and build the suit around him at his thought.
That's intense.
It's really cool. But like then they went a step further than that. So I'm sure you know of Venom.
Oh yes.
Okay, Tony studied the Venom symbiote, like in a lab. I think this was during the time where they were prepping for Agent Venom. Um, so the government had a hold of the symbiote and had it like docile, or at least contained. And so Tony studied it, learned how to use metal materials combined with nanobots to mimic the symbiote's ability. Actually took a small bit of the symbiote and merged it with this metal, um, and created his own metallic symbiote suit, which wherever it is, if he is in distress, it will pick up on his distress, fly to him, and it will just sort of loop around his body and make one of the strongest armors, or I should say, one of the best armors he's ever had. Like, it might not be quite as physically strong as things like, say, the Hulkbuster, but in terms of all of its overall abilities and what it's capable of, it's like really far up there.
Yeah, and in the nanotech suit in Infinity War, he makes Thanos bleed. So
He does.
he's pretty intensely powerful.
Yeah. It's too bad he got like shivved through the stomach immediately after.
It didn't turn out well for him.
But yeah, fighting the Mad Titan and being able to hurt him at all is no mean feat. I mean, even Hulk wasn't doing that at the time. Okay, so we've spoken about his own like backstory and self as a person and his armors. I guess we should, before we go on to like stories. Well, I guess this does kind of lead into stories. Let's touch on his alcoholism.
Oh dear.
They did not cover this nearly enough in the MCU, in my opinion. It's so brief that it's almost like a joke.
I think it was a bit dark for where they were going with the MCU.
I suppose it depends on. I mean, I don't know. The MCU is pretty fucking dark, man. Everyone wants to act like, a lot of DC fanboys will be like, oh, it's like a baby series of movies. It's like, it deals with way darker shit than the DC EU does.
It just does it with brighter colors.
Yeah, it's just not framed to be super edgelordy, but like it deals with trauma, like PTSD. Like half of the fucking world got wiped away, and there were people that had survivor's guilt over not turning into dust.
Oh my god.
Like that's some heavy shit, man.
Like WandaVision.
Oh jeez.
WandaVision gets dark, man.
It really does. I love that show. I'm still trying to get my roommate to watch it with me.
But yeah, they focused much more on just Tony is an asshole instead of Tony is an alcoholic.
Yeah, like, and I get it, because in the context of Iron Man 2, he's like, I'm dying, I could die any day. It was like a cancer allegory more than an alcoholism allegory. But I don't know. I do feel when these comic book characters, especially superhero characters, have extremely real world issues like that, it humanizes them to a startling degree. Like, it's not always pulled off super well. Speedy having an addiction to heroin in the comics was like, it almost felt like a Dare special at times, but I think from what I've seen of Demon in a Bottle, really, it really made you feel like, for all of his popularity, his hero status, his wealth, the fact that he's got the girl, like, he lives such of like what most of us would consider an idealistic life. He is miserable without his booze, and it was kind of where they touched on the idea of like, what if these heroes, the things that they go through, just don't disappear at the end of an issue of comics. Just because things return to the status quo as far as the readership is concerned, doesn't mean that there aren't lasting impacts of what they see every issue. And Tony couldn't cope with it without dependence on a substance. And it was genuinely upsetting. And I felt like it went a big way to humanize his character. But like you said, that wasn't really the focus of the MCU. The focus of the MCU was like, in terms of his humanization, was a lot of like, Tony, stop fucking up. You keep making our enemies. I mean, he made Ultron, he made Vision, he made Mysterio.
Yeah, Mysterio. He kind of made the Vulture. At least the Vulture feels like Tony made him. I'm not sure how justified it was.
I said Vulture, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tony 100% made him. But like, and you know what? It's funny because he has a habit of making people in the comics too. Like that isn't just an MCU thing. Like, yeah, he might not have made the Vulture and shit in the comics, but he made Living Laser. He made, depending on the canon you're going with, Wonder Man's brief stint as a villain was largely due to Tony. There's another one.
He made Aldrich Killian in Iron Man 3, but yeah, kind of.
Crimson Dynamo is, you know what? I was annoyed that they just combined Whiplash with Crimson Dynamo.
Yes.
I wanted a proper Crimson Dynamo. Like it might have seemed a little hokey at the time, but it would be perfect now.
Oh yeah, the MCU can do whatever it wants now.
I guess Tony's not around now, but you get what I mean.
That's true.
Hey, that brings up a good thought that I just had. Good job, Brain. Do you think we'll ever get an MCU iteration of Riri Williams?
I'm pretty sure that that's currently the plan.
That would be rad.
For the Ironheart Disney Plus show.
Yeah, and like, I understand the knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have. Like, she's a little girl. How the fuck is a little girl going to be making Iron Man armor? Tony made a car engine when he was 6. It's not... like, we are already off the rails. We have never been on the rails. This girl is at least, like, 12 or some shit. So, like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I am totally willing to believe that if that ridiculous level of genius level savant and engineering capability is available for a 6-year-old, it's available for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, and at this point, the Iron Man suit already exists.
Yeah, she's just, like, using what she sees in, like, the news and shit to figure it out and, like, reverse engineer it and build her own suit, essentially. Like, that's one of the most plausible things about this story.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to that Disney Plus series. I'm pretty sure that that's all confirmed and moving forward.
Oh, that shows how much I pay attention.
I pay too much attention, but not enough to swear by it.
I will, I forgot what I was going to say. It just comes and goes that fast, man.
That's the curse of podcasting, man.
No, it's just my life. my brain moves so fast that sometimes my mouth can't keep up, and my brain's like, too slow. We're already moving on to the next thing. And I'm just like,
Just discard whatever was there, because we got to get to the next word.
Right. Okay, so, is there any, like... Oh, Civil War. We got to go into
Civil War.
I was like, is there any other major Iron Man stories? And then
probably not. I don't think it was really involved in anything big. Nothing world changing, at least.
He was the guy in both Civil Wars, wasn't he?
Yes. Now I've not really observed any of Civil War 2. Is he wrong there too?
Probably, just knowing Tony. I also don't have a great compendium of knowledge for Civil War II. I just know he traded in a Captain America for a Captain Marvel, and you really can't even remember what that one's about. So let's just stick to Civil War I for now. Maybe
Okay,
I'll
so
do
for Civil War I, I am hashtag Team Cap, and the listener is welcome to join the Discord and tell me why I'm wrong.
You know what? I'm gonna double down. Cap was the obvious correct one there. Look.
So once again, the listener will have to come to the Discord and call us dickheads if they disagree.
That is correct. That will have to happen. Look, it's not even just a matter of it was a Captain America movie, so of course you're going to be more inclined to side with Captain America. That much is true, and I acknowledge that. But even outside of that, and it's not that I don't have a horse in both races. As far as the whole police brutality, corruption in government, I do believe there needs to be accountability for people in power. My problem is other people in power are not the ones to hold the first people in power accountable. You want to hold superheroes accountable for their actions, but giving the power of accountability or restraint or whatever to politicians is the worst possible move.
It doesn't help Tony's stance that he proceeds to violate the Sokovia Accords throughout that movie and every movie he's in afterward.
Yeah. And I understand he's guilt tripping because this is the universe where he made Ultron instead of Hank. Side note, I always was a little bit bummed that Hank didn't make Ultron. It might seem like a minor detail, but I don't know. I just always felt that was a very defining thing for Ultron's little character that he does have, and making him more like Iron Man. A lot of people were irritated by it, so I get it.
Interesting. That movie came out at a point that I was very unaware of comic book history. Not that I'm an expert on it now, but so I didn't notice any problem with it. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Tony's hyper-intelligence and fear of aliens causes him to create something that nearly destroys the world. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's always people who take issue with the level of quips and sassiness in the humor of the MCU, and Tony sort of epitomizes that. And so to have a villain who is like Tony 2.0, but with a robot body, who's making a lot of the same jokes and shit.
Who's played beautifully by James Spader.
Oh yeah, the guy has a voice like robotic silk, whatever that is, steel wool, I guess. I don't know. But that's like a Boba Fett voice. Anyway, look, what I'm saying is, I understand that Tony has made mistakes and he is doing his damnedest to start owning up to them and start being better, but immediately being like, we need to put all of the superheroes on a list and have them under government employ because politicians can never be bad. It's like, that is not the way to go, my friend. And especially, I wish that they said it in the movie, but they sidestepped it. For Captain America, so in the comic version of Civil War, it wasn't the Sokovia Accords, it was the Superhero Registration Act, and it was to have all superhuman people, including the X-Men, including the Inhumans, fucking anybody, not just like Avengers, all of them, be on a list. And Cap in the comic brought up a fantastic point. He's like, hey, I fought Nazi Germany. I've seen what happens when people are forced to register aspects of their lifestyle, and there's a big old list of them. Those lists get taken, and they get targeted by people who hate that lifestyle. especially with X-Men being a part of it, it fits so well because the
Oh
X-Men have
yes.
always been analogous to homosexuality, or any sort of different lifestyle, whether it's like a disability, or like transgenderism, whatever. To
Yeah,
the
a
point
lot of
where,
allegories to the civil rights movement when it was originally written.
yeah, to the point where in X-Men 2, or I'm sorry, X2, fuck me, uh, the there's a bit I just remember very vividly where they go to Bobby Drake's
Bobby's.
home,
Yeah.
and his parents are like, "Have you tried not being a mutant?" And he just gives him a look like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
This is who I am.
Um, so given that Hitler had a bad habit of rounding up all the gay people he could, um, slapping the color pink on them, and being like, "These are the people to hate." Like that got a lot of them murdered. Um,
Yes.
uh, fun side story, real quick. Did you know pink was never a girl's color?
Really?
It was originally a boy's color because pink is a color that technically should exist outside of our visible spectrum. Um, it is a color within infrared, which is normally invisible to us. So the ability that we have to see it is considered an anomaly, and so it was like it became the color that is a symbol of like good eyesight and like hunter ability to see, nearly invisible prey and all that stuff. So it was considered manly, and it was given to boys at birth. And blue, which is a very calming and serene color, was like that would be great for mothers. So blue was assigned to women. But then, because Hitler started labeling gay people with the color pink, our super macho men were like, "I don't want people thinking my son is no Homo Neanderthal. Fucking switch the colors." So they switched the colors.
You're blowing my mind.
And that's a true story. We've only been using blue for boys since the 1940s.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Look, I do try to make this a history podcast to some degree.
To some degree.
Um, so anyway, the entire thing was Civil War. Spider-Man was a big part of it in the comics. That was where he got the Iron Spider suit, the actual one, like the red and gold one, not the just really shiny normal Spider-Man suit that he has in the movie. Um, the uh, like a lot of shit happened in that story. Like Spider-Man revealed his public identity. Uh, Cap died at the end of it.
I
I'm
was
pretty
so
sure
worried that they were going to kill Captain America in the movie.
I was waiting for it. Like I I was like, someone's gonna fucking die.
I'm almost a little disappointed that nobody died because it kind of robbed the story of some of the weight that it could have had, but oh well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we Cap Living gave us Nomad in Infinity War, and it gave us the super cheesy and wonderful happy ending from the end of Infinity War, or
Oh
from the
yes.
Endgame. Sorry, and you know what? I'm here for that. Um, so I guess another one more good thing to talk about would be his relationship with Cap. Um, Tony is a futurist. He loves to rely on technology to augment what he believes humans are not naturally capable of doing. He considers himself a realist, and this is all against Steve, who is an optimist, rooted in the past, to varying degrees of literal nature. Um, he believes that humans are capable of anything if they put their mind to it, and they don't need superpowers or technology to, go the distance. And uh, you know what? As a younger man, I feel I would have sided with Iron Man more, but I recently watched a like a psychological breakdown about Iron Man and the way superheroes in general are treated, especially the Avengers. It is the lie of exceptionalism. The idea that a a person or a group of persons who are extraordinary and exceptional are the ones that you should put all of your faith in. You should trust them because they're the smartest, they're the strongest, they're the best of the best. And it's kind of what the Avengers like are. To the point where, like, yes, we're rooting for them not to be beholden to government because they know better than the government does. Um, and if you think about it to a realistic degree, in our world, we have people who assert that they are exceptional, that they are better, and they're usually not. In fact, a lot of them don't even know like how things like grocery shopping works because they just don't have to do it because they have other people do it for them. And realistically, Cap's ideology is sort of I don't want to act like I'm superior and be like it's the right one, but let's be realistic. It's the right one. Everybody is capable of more. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Like it might be foolish to blindly trust everyone, but nobody's saying that you have to blindly trust everyone, but have a general faith in humanity. Um, be aware that sometimes all it takes is a little push of encouragement and people can bring out the best of themselves. We can all be exceptional if the right circumstances are met. And that was a message that this past year I really needed to get me through. Um, a certain event, which I'm sure anybody who's paid attention to what we've said will be able to glean, that happened around like November of last year, I was filled with extreme anxiety because I started wondering if, at least in our American society, if the cruel outnumbered the kind, if the ignorant outnumbered the informed, um, if people who were happy with the status quo at the time outnumbered people who wanted change for the better. And um, I think I briefly mentioned My Hero Academia in the recording. And a big thing that got me through was around that time there was a video that came out on YouTube where they did a charity performance of uh, Might Plus You with a bunch of the voice actors for the show. It's a great video. You guys should definitely check it out. But what I'm getting at is the lyrics of that song reminded me that it's natural for people to want to help each other. It is natural for people to want to better themselves and better society around them. And while they may be numerous right now, the people who are so full of hate and bigotry, the idea that they are exceptional, that they are better, that they should be listened to by default, and that they would worship a false idol whose supposed exceptionalism will drive them to their own little promised land, they are unnatural. And uh, I was sort of rewarded with a small victory that it's not like we're where we need to be yet, but we're back on track. We can get there now. And I think that can be today's lesson is that Iron Man was sort of propped up from the beginning. Like, he is the smartest and best of us, and only he can save us. But he didn't fall into that trap, at least not all the time. he does have issues with ego here and there. But at the end of the day, he is one of the founding members of the Avengers because he realized that it takes more than one or two people who lord over everyone to save the world. And people like to ridicule how many members of the Avengers are, that almost every Marvel superhero has been an Avenger now. But I think that speaks again to the fact that anyone who pushes himself can be great. I say it at the end of every episode, we can all be heroes. And part of why I say that is from like the Spider-Man PS4 game, or from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The idea of anyone could wear the mask. You could wear the mask. I encourage everyone, if you feel like you are inferior, if you feel like you need to prostrate yourself before someone who is superior to you, whether it's in intelligence or strength or beauty or morals, you don't need to settle for the idea that you're just not as good as them. You might not ever get to their level, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't want to better yourself anyway. It's not a competition. The only person you should be competing with is with your current self. And if you want to be better, you can do it. Just be better. Do you have anything else? I'm sorry, that was a long...
Oh, no, you're good. That was so beautiful that I briefly forgot I was on this podcast.
Well, thank you. I learned lessons from Cap, and one of them is how to do speeches.
And there can be no greater teacher.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iron Man. Yeah, I was gonna try to think of something, but no. You got it. So I guess as we wrap up, do you have any ideas for what next week's episode will be?
Man, I just spoke a lot about Cap. I don't know if I want to do him this early.
You could. I was because we've mentioned a few people during this episode that I've thought that would be pretty cool. And the list that I'm thinking in my head that maybe you should turn over to the Discord is Captain America, Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor, and Venom.
Oh, those are really good. All right, yeah, you know what? I will do that. I will go ahead and
So if you're listening, you should jump into the Discord so you can pick the next episode if you want to hear it. If you hated it, then I guess don't do that. But if you liked this episode, then share it with a friend and let us know what you want the next episode to be.
You know what? I'll even say if you hated this episode, join the Discord anyway. And yes, you can always call us dickheads, but if you want to see us do better, like everyone can do better, feel free to give us some constructive criticism. Tell us what you would do different, what you think would make this podcast work better.
Let us know if you just hate my voice and want me off the show.
The reason I made the Discord is because I want people to help me perfect it. You know, I don't feel especially accomplished at this yet, so any advice is welcome. So with that said, please give the episode a like and a comment. Follow me on whatever platform you're listening on. I make YouTube videos of this. I have a Cape Corner YouTube channel. You can subscribe on there if that is your preferred medium to listen to things on. I know it is for me a lot of the time. Check out my Patreon page. Maybe toss $1 or $2 my way. Really helps. Like we've said, join the Discord. You can ask for episode suggestions. You can just discuss things. It's full of a bunch of superhero fans, so there's definitely discussions to be had. Also, check out Jordan's Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, and I've got the same username all over the internet, so I'm super easy to find. My PlayStation username is the same as all my social medias.
Oh man, we can all only hope to be as consistent as that. Um,
I just happened to find something that no one would think to copy.
I unfortunately other people thought of Beyond Blue before I did, so whatever. Um, yeah, okay, I will put that poll. So you said Harley Quinn, Venom, Lex Luthor, and Cap.
Oh yeah,
All right, I'll
I think we should let the people decide.
if I can't find a poll bot, I'll just do like a straw poll. Uh, but that's that. So uh, I'm trying to think of how to do the ending in a way that gives you a better chance to like speak. Like, do you want it to be like I'll say stay strong, then you say stay true to yourself, or
Huh.
do you want to do that, or does that sound too hokey?
If it doesn't sound too hokey to you, I'm up for it. But I'm trying to think of anything.
I mean, you can
Let's see.
also just say your own thing. Like that's kind of like my thing if you want to do your own.
Yeah, I've got a little. I'll do a little catchphrase. I'll just you can say like
We can all be heroes.
yeah. I think also yours is cooler and more appropriate to the Cape Corner because my little life's motto is life is too short not to spend it laughing. So I might just randomly say that, and then you can say and remember.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
works. I don't know how do we lead into this. So I can be like, and with that, we'll see you next week. And remember that life is too short not to spend it laughing.
Yep. And then after you say that, I can be like, stay strong, stay true to yourself, and we can all be heroes.
Yeah.
And
Is
then,
that too? Is that too much?
nah.
Nah, it's fine.
Look, it's a superhero podcast. We're going to be kind of dorky, so.
Oh yes, that's true.
And then we would very professionally, end the episode, not include any of this in here.
Obviously, we
And
would cut all of it out because
yes.
who would be crazy enough to leave this in? Huh.
We suck at this.